In a bid to effect efficient governance in advancing Nigerians' housing development goals, the chairman and members of the Committees on Housing and Habitat paid an oversight visit to the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria (FMBN), Shehu Osidi, at the bank's headquarters in Abuja. Delivering his opening remarks, the MD and CEO of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Shehu Osidi, highlighted the progress, challenges and opportunities in the operations of Nigerians' foremost provider of affordable housing finance.
The mandate and functions of the FMBN include the following. One is to link the mortgage finance market with the capital market and develop a viable secondary mortgage market. Then to encourage the emergence and promote the growth of primary mortgage banks to serve the delivery of housing in Nigeria. And then also to mobilize domestic and foreign funds. Then construction finance to public and private sector estate development companies. And then affordable housing microfinance soft loans for home expansion and home renovation, which we popularly call home renovation loans. And of course, we have also rent-to-own products.
Osidi listed key activities and achievements of the bank, some of which are the provision of 100 billion bankable off-taker guarantee to real estate developers, executing the construction of affordable houses under the renewed Hope Housing Program coordinated by the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, introduction of student hostel accommodation, establishment of the National Housing Data Center, increase in loan limit from 15 million naira to 50 million naira, and so many other achievements.
We also have the bankable off-taker guarantee, where the bank provides an off-taker guarantee to developers who are proposing to build houses. So what we then require is to know specifically for whom these houses are being built, and then we provide an off-taker guarantee to enable the developers access funding for construction. This is also to help in massive construction of housing units across the country. Some of developers that are developing 100,000 houses under the renewed Home Housing Cities and Estates program across the country. I've talked about the issue of student hostel accommodation, and in order to be alive to the reality of today, we have also increased our loan limit from 15 million to 50 million because until recently, the limit for the NHM loan was 15 million naira, and it became extremely unrealistic for people to have houses in reasonable locations at 15 million. So last year, the bank took the initiative to increase the limit to 50 million instead of 15.
Amongst critical issues facing the bank that need immediate attention, Osidi called on the chairman of the Committee on Housing and Habitat, Honorable Abdulmumin Jibrin, for the need of the recapitalization of the bank, review of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria and the National Housing Fund Acts, amongst other key issues.
The issue of recapitalization, which I have mentioned, this is very, very dear to our heart, and we will appreciate the assistance of the National Assembly in getting this bank recapitalized. Second is the issue of the single obligor limit, which I have also discussed. And the third and more critical is the issue of the review of the FMBN and NHF Acts. The FMBN Act was passed in 1993, while the NHF Act was passed in 1992. And since then, these two acts have not undergone any reviews. And like we all know, a lot of changes have happened.
The chairman of the Committee on Housing and Habitat, Honorable Abdulmumin Jibrin, gave the assurance of the committee's readiness and partnership to the bank's quest in making home ownership accessible and affordable for millions of Nigerians.
Thank you so much. We're here at the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria for oversight. We've just concluded our exercise. We've scrutinized the presentation of the management, and we've also looked at the challenges that they are faced with. And as a committee, I wish to actually state that the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is in a dire need of a live support. I can say they need a live support. They so poorly funded. And everybody knows that the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, it's the most authentic organization that can access the low income and the medium income of takers. And by the time an organization like that has a lengthy history in the housing sector in Nigeria, cannot be able to advance mortgages and do not even have the liquidity to carry out its statutory function, then I will say the housing sector in Nigeria is in a mess. So for us as a committee, we've taken a position. We will draw the attention of the federal government to take all necessary measures with urgency to resuscitate this organization.
We believe that the National Assembly is a very strong institution that can help to advance the cause of this bank for the common good of the Nigerian people. So we welcome this visit, and we believe that the National Assembly will help the bank to achieve some of the objectives and will overcome some of the challenges that we have. Especially, we are currently working on the amendment of the bills, the FMBN and the NHF Acts,